In this video, Gordon Payton, aka the Sci-Fi Guy, is going to go into how to retrofit Mazda Miata MX seats into an Opel GT. This same process should work with retrofitting any seat into another vehicle, especially if they have removable or flat guide rails. And if you like this video or any of my other videos, hitting that subscribe button would be super appreciated. And with that said, let me give it over to Gordo.
As you can see, I have chopped the firewall and floorboards out of an Opel GT because I will be making another video about how to make a custom dashboard. But while I had it here and I had to make seat adapters for my Miata seats, I figured I would show that also. So to begin, the Miata seats have very nice slider rails, but they have big positioning spikes at each end that angle downwards. If you can weld, you could chop off those spikes, weld on an offset piece of metal to the side of the rails, mark and drill holes to match the mounting holes in the floor of a GT, and you'd be all done. I can't weld, so I unbolt the Miata rails and I bolt on the OEM GT rails. The mounting holes on the seat rails are about 1.5 inches closer together front to rear than GT seats, so you'll need to drill a new hole. I do this at the front of the seat rails. I bolt on the GT slider rails to the seats, and then it's time to make the offset adapters. I use 2 adapters on the passenger side and only 1 on the driver's side. The slider mounting holes on Mazda Miata passenger seats are 13 3/4 inches apart, right to left. The driver's side ones are only 13 inches apart, right side to left side at the bolt centers. The mounting holes in a GT floor are 11 3/8 inches apart, right to left. So there is a 2 3/8 inch width discrepancy that you have to make adapters for. All the bolts I used are 8mm bolts and nuts. I used a mix of countersunk, hex, and Allen head bolts. I bought some 2-inch wide by 3/16 inch thick bar metal from Home Depot and cut them into 2 16-inch lengths. That leaves about 1 inch of metal sticking out past each end of the rails. You could cut them as short as 14 inches if you want. The OEM floor mounting holes in the floor and on the OEM sliders are 13 9/16 or 345 millimeters apart front to rear. Mark lines on the bar metal at this distance evenly stay spaced from the ends of the 16-inch long bar. Use a 3/8 inch drill bit. Drill a hole 5/16 of an inch in from each side of the bar metal along the lines you drew. You will now have 4 holes drilled into each of the 2 pieces of the bar metal. Use a 5/8 inch drill bit to countersink one of each pair of holes along one side of the bar. You will then use 1/2 inch long countersunk bolts in these holes. Those holes will lay flat on the box mounting structure of the GT floor. If you don't countersink them, you will have to shim with washers or something else when you bolt the seats to the floor, and this will boost the height of the seats. It's your choice. I decided to get fancy and countersink them. It was a fair amount of work. When you bolt the adapters to the seat, you cannot have any of the bolts sticking out of the nuts within the slider rail area. If they stick out, you must cut off or grind them flush or a little below the nut. If the bolts stick out of the nut, they will hit the rail to seat mounting bolts, and the seat will not slide all the way back and forth. Bolt the adapters to the rails and test fit the seat to the car. Start cussing and cursing my name. Drill and file as necessary. Test fit again. Curse my mother for giving birth to me and do some more adjusting. You will notice that it's hard to get the bolt in where the slider lever is. Curse everyone in my family for not telling you to put that bolt in the hole before you bolted the adapter to the slider rail, or take a drill and egg out the hole on an angle so that you can get the bolt in. Making the driver's side adapter. You only need to make one adapter for this side. The tunnel side slider will bolt directly to the holes in the floor. You only need to make an adapter for the door side slider rail of the seat. Take another 16-inch long piece of bar metal. Draw lines 13 and 9/16 apart, evenly spaced from the ends of the bar, and drill 2 holes at each line that are 1 3/8 inches apart. Countersink one of each pair of holes, assemble and test fit, repeat the cussing and damming and adjusting until you get that darn seat bolted to the floor. Took me about 4 to 5 hours per seat to get them in there. I can slide the seat all the way back. It now hangs off considerably, and you can see the seats are about 6 inches, maybe 8. There's a movement front and rear. Mazda Miata seats are great because they actually lean back really far. So you could actually sleep in your Opel GT if you wanted to. And they also tilt forward a bit more than stock Opel seats. Not much more, but a little bit more. So there you go.